Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and this is Haga review, and today we have finally I have reviews for you, and the reviews will be with 3 parts. I will be filming all day long, and we'll be talking about the 4 wheels exactly, maybe a little bit more about the 3 wheels, and we have here the first part of a review, Commander Pro. Also I will talk about the Bigodi AX30 and compare these new 2 wheels, compare with Sherman S. I already done the review, and also will compare with InMotion V13. I am already done also the review about that wheel. So yes, and I will compare a little bit more 3 wheels, not 4, because in my opinion the InMotion V13 not exactly the same class wheel like these 3 we have today, Sherman S, Commander Pro and EX30, just because of a reason, because of the dimension of a wheel, weight of a wheel, and the possibility you can use that wheel, like the overall, how to say it more exactly, like overall you see the wheel and you're trying to judge like the all day ride, max purpose wheel for the casual riding, for the fast riding, for the everyday purposes. So in my opinion the InMotion V13 are a little bit out of this range of these 3 wheels. So yes, the review will be more about the 3 wheels here. So the first part is the Commander Pro, and also I need to say my apologies about my voice, because I filmed the review and get the virus, so my noses are almost completely blocked, and already past 1 week. So I need to to get better. I need maximum, not maximum, but I need also additional for I think 1 week, and I understand, but I have no time. I need to film that because I know you waiting for my opinion. So guys, sorry about that, and let's start the review. And yes, and first one moment I also wanted to say you that this review you are watching now, also you have possibility to join my private channel. You can see and find the join button here on the YouTube channel. Join my private channel, and if you are already joined, so please follow the private channel and play the full video I have with my comments, my comments in that channel. So here in this channel, in public channel, I will not speak such, I will not share a lot of my own opinion because of the dealership and so on. So guys, sorry about that. So if you're already joined, so yes, please follow the go to the video and look to the video, watch the video on the private channel here. So okay, the Commander Pro. And interesting story. I wanted to begin my review about the story about the Commander Pro, because we already was ordered the Commander Pro 100 volt wheels with also 2 versions from the company Extreme Bull. And all who don't know, but Extreme Bull and Bigodi are almost the same companies, using the same technology, sharing the same technologies, and I even think the same fabric. I think, don't know exactly, but I think the same fabric. So I think this is the same company. But Extreme Bull, they already made presentation. We saw the 3D renderings of that wheels, and we saw that and ordered the wheels 100 volt with 2 versions, high speed and high torque. Here also 2 motors as usual from the Bigodi, C30 and C38 motors. And these wheels I know was already built and ready to send us, but suddenly Bigodi, Extreme Bull changed their opinion, changed their mind, and they stopped sending, not send them, made the delay, some pause, take some pause, and also announced that they no more sending and producing 100 volt wheels Commander Pro, and these wheels will be rebuilt to the 134 volt wheels with the same capacity of a battery, 3600 watt hours. So, and we needed to wait additional few months, I think, to wait for that wheels, to wait for that modifications, and now finally I have one demo unit here on the table, and I made the review of this wheel. So this is the important part. I will explain a little bit later in the review why I think this was quite important. And firstly, of course, we need to understand what Commander Pro is direct competitor are for the Sherman S we have here, and I think this one moment was also the reason when the Bigodi saw the Sherman S, because the Sherman S was the first wheel came to the market, and the riders already test them, and many riders, professional riders who ride a lot, was surprised about the built-in quality, the great design and great suspension and so on. So possibilities of to have power, you know, from the low speed, and have quite good torque, you know, from the low speed, great power on the middle range of the speeds, and also have a possibility to ride fast more than the 80 kilometers per hour or about the 80 kilometers per hour speed. So they saw that, and Extreme Bullets, I think they understand that what the two versions of wheels will be not comparable, and will be not competitor to the Sherman S, because you will not have Sherman S have all this, you know, in one body. And if you will buy C30 or C38, this is the way to nothing. And yes, I really glad that Extreme Bull they changed their mind and made the 134-volt wheel here with a new tech, with a new controller and so on, most powerful. And what is much more important, what you have one wheel for all, and great power from the low, and quite good high speed here. And this is a very important moment here. But also, okay, so as usual, overall design, in my opinion, overall ergonomics, how I feel when I'm riding that wheel, power, we will talk and compare the power of this wheel with another wheels, I was said previously, and also I will talk about the suspension, and when we go to another review of C30. So regarding overall design, I like such designs. I like design of a Sherman. I like design of a Sherman S. I like traditional designs of the wheels when the wheel have overall strong body like a box. I like that. And in my opinion, from the ergonomics, from the variations, you can use additional parts like the power parts and so on. This design are better here, and the wheel are closed. You know, you have a better durability, you have better safety of battery compartments and so on, even for the batteries, safety, more safety here, because you have stronger body here. And if you decide, for example, to use another parts, you just can, you know, can use them. You don't need to construct additional some type of plates to put that place to the wheel, put all these handles and so on. You don't need to do that. You can just easily modify that wheel just by putting the another pads and another pedals and so on, and just have the wheel like you wanted to have, and do not, you know, use all this stuff for 3D printing and so on to make, you know, to make even possible to glue some type of parts you want to do that, and so on. So yes, this one very important part. So I like this design of a Commander Pro, and to compare with even with a X30 traditional now design from the new wheel from the Bigodi, when you have metal frame and the battery compartments. So I like that design much more better here, and this is really good one point. Regarding the tire, so the tire we have here are I'm glad we have here not CST tire, Knobi tire. We have normal tire here, and in my opinion this tire much better for the all-purpose riding, for a fast ride, for the cornering, good possibility to control the wheel. Really great tire. Have no issues here, and I think for all this new wheel, 20-inch wheel, better to put this tire on the wheels compared to CS30. This is only my opinion. Mudguard not bad, but you need to understand where it was going. You know, just the much easier, you know, much easier way they find. They just put the mudguard on the main body, so the wheel, you know, is going here on the suspension. So putting the mudguard here inside, you know, combining with a wheel and to cover that wheel better, would cost additional monies, you know, because we need additional solutions, much more harder solution to perform such a mud guard, to install that and so on. So we just put it here, big mud guard, working not bad, but not cover, you know, not cover you from all matter going from the wheel, and this is normal, we understand that also. So for what we should do and can do here, in my opinion, what we need to, you know, to cut it here and make, you know, extension of a mud guard by your own to cover better from the back side, because you will definitely have all this mud if you are going on the dirty, you know, roads. You will have all this mud on the backward. So from the box you need to understand what you still as usual, nothing changed. You need to think about the modification exactly from the box, and here we have nothing new also here. Regarding the backlights, shining quite strong. You see clearly in the daylight, and this is the good point, and I see no problems here, but I see the problems only when you're stopping, and when you stop it's shining not red but blue. So backlights shining blue, and this is the solution they made. I don't know why, but this is the part of the design. Okay, let's go about the handles here. And handles, you know that they made the wheel same from the design and ergonomics, same like the Sherman do, and we have here the both handle from both sides. This is a good one moment, and I like that solution. But exactly for the handles, you see these handles are dipped inside the wheel, and this one moment, first of all, the plastic of a material, this hardness of the material, the finishes of that material are not quite finished, and I understand what I need to put some additional tape here, or maybe just, you know, just made this material softer here, you know, take with hands, you know, and just with a sandpaper made it more softer here to use that, but not that, quite strong here, but not comfortable, and when you feel it, when you take it, but not bad. For the handle here, trolley handle, and also we know that the Shermanes have a handle mechanism, and they made also the same mechanism here, but not exactly the same. And first of all, about the mechanism, a good one point for the Commander Pro is that to open that, you just need to push it and you have it open. For the Shermanes, you need to push firstly the button from the front, you know, push that, and then push the handle, because it is locked in the both position in the Sherman. So for a Commander Pro, it's locked only from the one position here. But another one moment is that when you need to put it back, you need to find here with the button, with a finger, to press that button here, exactly here, and then press it, hold it, and then push the handle. So this situation means that you cannot operate with that handle with one hand, because when you're staying on the wheel, you cannot just take with one hand, press that button and press the handle. It's just not possible. So you need to use two hands. So if your one hand are busy, you have problems, but you cannot, you know, push back the handle. And such a solution, in my opinion, not best solution for the handles. And we still see that so many time passed since we start producing the wheels, but some ergonomic moments are still appear, and they do nothing here. Regarding overall the handle, the length of the handle are not good for my 1 meter and 85 centimeters, and I feel like I need to go something like that. And overall, the Shermanes handle also are not so comfortable, but the overall length of the handle for the Shermanes are much bigger, and you don't need to go like that, you know, when you want to trolley Shermanes with such a height. So here it is not so great. Okay, regarding the charging ports, so we have here two charging ports, you can see it, but this wheel is 134 volts, but you can see here the 5-pin charging ports, and I will try to explain it. But These wheels was built firstly with 100 volt technology. So, and as I understand, these plastics here was made for the VAT ports with 5 pins, because 5 pin ports are smaller. So overall, like a construction already was built in the factories. So when they changed the technology to the 34 volt wheels, they also needed to change the pins from the 5 small to the 4 big pins. And the idea is that they don't have a parts, you know, to make another plastic. So all they made some types of connectors, you know, where you have 4 pins to 5 pins, and you have only one connector in the box. Of course, you can make one for you if you order that connectors, and to find the pins, right pins, and to make all this assembly, you can make it by yourself. But as I said, you know, this is the solution we have now, and I hope in the future, in the near future, Bigode will make another covers and replace all this stuff, you know, with a new one wheels, and we have already 4 pins here from that side. And don't because now I have a lot of chargers, you know, and I need to charge now, because I have only one this plug. I need to charge it only with a 3 amps, and that will coming from a box with a 3 amp charger. So I don't have possibility, and I don't have 4 pin connectors like this one. I don't have possibility to make one more by myself. I ordered it from the Bigode additional one to make the possibility to charge the wheel with a 6 amps with 2 chargers, because with a 3 amps charger you will charge that wheel all day long, you know. So not good, and hope this will be fixed in the future. So okay, let's go forward. So about the screen, we have here the exactly same screen we saw firstly in the Bigode RS wheels, the red one screen, not even the blue or white one screen we saw in the last version of the Commander wheels we have on stock now. So we still using the red screen we had, and also in the last versions of the Commander wheels, Commander not Pro wheels, we had the white one screen, but also we had additional the tint plate, you know, to tint the screen to see the digits, because digits on that screen are quite small, and to see the digits clearly. Now we have a red screen and have no tint screen here, so need to understand we trying to split the Bigode and split the Commander, and still says if you want better one, buy Bigode wheels. If you want cheaper one product, as they think, so buy guys Commander Pro here. So solution as it is, I have here no comments. So ergonomically these parts already fitted from the box, and these parts are comfortable here, and overall ergonomics of the wheel, like I'm staying on the wheel, and on that wheel the foot plates are good. This one foot plates we already saw in another product of the Bigode one. Foot plates are good from the box, I don't think I need to change them. Also the pads, and here the great moment from the Extreme Bull, but the pads are getting better and better with every one new wheels here for the Extreme Bull. And these pads are from the soft material. I feel that soft material here quite good, sides and front for the pushing, and the backward for the pushing, good one. The big one, you know, you can just easily manipulate with that wheel. Even the downside of a wheel are quite big here, and you can jump with a wheel quite easy. This is also the great. So overall the pads are good, and I feel like this I can use them from the box. Of course you can buy additional pads, you know, whatever you want from the market, but from the box you can use them, and this pads are really working quite great, and this is a good one moment here also. So overall ergonomically, as I say, as I'm staying, as my foot are staying on the plates, as my legs are going here from that side, I feel ergonomically this wheel are really great, and I like when I'm riding, I feel that all this stuff are comfortable, and I can ride it, and I feel comfortable when I'm riding in, when I'm pushing, starting and stopping, accelerating. So overall ergonomically I have no problems here. The wheel are really built quite great here, and nothing, nothing what makes me nervous, when I'm starting to ride with that wheel here. So this is very important part. Ergonomically, I like all of this. You can see here the solution how we made some type of stand for that wheel from the front. You have these two big plastic parts, and we were performing, as I understand, two main rules. But first of all, you can, if you will definitely overpower it and cut off that wheel, so this will be like the dampers, we will not hit with that wheel, we will not hit with headlight, but you will hit with this like the bumpers, and also this is performing like the stand one functions. Not comfortable in my opinion to use, because the wheel are quite heavy, and this wheel weighed 45 kilos. I was weighed out like it is with a mud guard pads from the box as it is, ready to ride from the box, 45 kilos. So quite big, and when you push it, down and take that, and definitely the wheel can stay only on the flat surface. You cannot use it, somewhere off-road, on the forest, on the grass, so it will not stay like that. So not comfortable, but you can use that. But as I can understand, but all we know now, just feel more comfortable using the standard stand like we have on the Sherman S, on the Commander, not Commander but EX30, like we have on the Master and so on. And you have stand here, and if you ride, you need to stay the wheel, you just put it in that position, and the wheel are staying. So this is one moment, and another moment, what this angle are quite critical here. So if the wheel are full of mud, so all this mud will going somewhere, from that side. So not going, directly from the wheel to downside, but we go on the side, and you will have here the mud, going from the headlight part and so on. So all this will going, just on the ground here. So if you are riding on the wet condition, so the moment when you will put it like that, you will have all this mud going somewhere here. So I don't know. Maybe it will be nothing, for the wheel, but maybe not, and the future will show us, that solution. But overall, as it is. Okay, so the main difference, Commander Pro, EX30, V13 or Sherman S, is what the Commander Pro have the speakers inside, built-in speakers, usual Bigodi speakers. All that stuff, the speakers and the sound quality still remains the same, even for the Commander Pro, because of the speakers are hide inside the wheel. So we have cut it all high, frequencies, and when the speakers are playing, I feel like it is playing somewhere inside the metal box. So the sound are not quite good, and I really don't know why we're still using such a speakers, because you are paying for them, we're using them, you're paying for them, but you will not use them, I think, because of sound of qualities. Guys, so yes, let's return to the much more important part. So overall, structurally, from the design part, from the ergonomic parts, I was saying you my opinion. So now one moments remains regarding the power of the wheel, how powerful it is, and my ride feel, like I like it or not, and compare with the competitors, and also the suspension, of course. So regarding the power, yes, and the solution we used 134 volts, and that will really great solution, and it helps, yes, really helps. And now compare to the Sherman S and to the EX30. Main comparison I will leave in the third part of the review, but compare now to the Sherman S. Main difference, when you take the Sherman S and you start to spinning, you feel like the motor spinning quite stronger than the motor of Commander Pro. Like you're pushing it and you get immediately respond, in one side or to another side. So this is not so fast in my opinion, and not so torquey, like like you push it and you have the torque of a wheel. So not so torquey, but in riding, with the speeds from 0 to 30, I think, where both and Sherman S and Commander Pro riding quite same. And about the acceleration, how hard you need to push to get the same result. So they are feeling the same. So, but from the speed, from the 30, I think even from the 40 kilometers per hour, I feel difference, and Commander Pro here are accelerating better compared to the Sherman S. And this is my opinion. And the main point is, like I was said that previously in many reviews, I'm not testing the wheels, but I'm pushing, it with a nose to the ground and just waiting when the wheel are cut off, and after that filming you and saying that one is stronger than another. My comparison are a little bit different. I just tried to understand how hard I need to push to get the same result. So this is my point of a comparison of a wheel. So as I said, from the 40 I feel difference, but I need to push much more harder the Sherman S to get the same result of the speed. And even for the Sherman S, if I want to keep the speed like the 55, 60, 70 kilometers, and I was riding with both wheels, Sherman S and the X30, and the Commander Pro was riding till 70 kilometers per hour. So to keep the speed 50, 60 till 70, much more harder. I need to push much more harder, and I need to work much more harder with a Sherman S compared to the Commander Pro. It feels more lighter, and I feel like I just need to push a little bit and with the legs to keep that speed 60 kilometers per hour. And overall, like this wheel are feeling in the legs, the nimble of that wheel. I feel that and when accelerating, I feel that the Commander Pro just much more lighter wheel in the legs. And this is lighter, I meaning like it has more power on the high speed. And yes, I need to really say that the Commander Pro 134 volts C38 motor get the better power results on the high speed here. But for the braking one point, when you start to brake, so the Sherman S are braking are better, and it also feels, because when I start to brake with a Commander Pro, it is just don't want to brake, and I feel that I need to push it more and more and more and more and harder and harder to make the same result I had with a Sherman S when I just push it and I immediately feel the resistance and the power from the motor here. It is as that wheel are built, the height of a pedal and the nimble of a wheel all here are quite good. The height of a pedal from the ground are on the border when it is still comfortable, but it is almost the end of a comfortable, on the edge of a comfort. But still in the good one side, and if I will ride with that wheel, I will definitely leave it and don't need to think how to lower, pedal down and or do something else here. So all in the, as I said, in the that borders of a comfort, still on that borders of a comfort, and still here we find here, Extreme Bull find the solution to have pedals as high as they can, to perform the tricks on the off-road, but still, to have good performance and good stability riding by control that wheel and good nimble, on the cornering and so on. So this is really great here, and I need to say that honestly, that this one good. They find here in that wheel good balance between all this stuff, ergonomics and pedal height and so on of a motor. So also important part. Okay. So the final conclusion is about the suspension, and here very important moment. I wanted to speak a little bit more, and now we are returning now about the Sherman S. And the Sherman S, if you need to know if you're interested in the wheels, guys. So the Sherman S, exactly from the factory, from the first production, they say we have a few versions of the wheels. For the lighter riders, we are offering the 58 lbs suspension or spring, For the heavier rider we have 60 lbs springs, and now even the big Shermanes they even made for that wheel the 66 lbs suspension for much more harder riders, you know, with a bigger weight. And I understand why, because when I was riding it a few weeks ago, 1 week ago, with a Shermanes, it was cold on the street, -7, you know, and I was put on me a lot of clothes, you know, and it was really heavy. Overall, my weight with all this winter, you know, clothes, this gear, motorcycle gear and so on, weight was 110 kilos. So even for the Shermanes I have for me the 60 lbs spring suspension, it was on the border of that limit, you know, and sometimes even when I was jumping somewhere from the stairs and so I was felt that this was too much weight for the Shermanes. In the summer I will be lighter, you know, on the 6 kilos I think, as I think, because of all these winter clothes. So this will be still good for me to ride, but overall, if you're riding more aggressively and jumping more aggressively, better to use the spring 66 lbs. But returning back, why I'm saying that, because we know this from the factory and we can choose, we can decide, we have the rules the factory are placed and we understand what is meaning. So returning to the Commander Pro, we don't have variations, we don't have springs. Nobody says these springs are built for what weight. They gives you that key from the box and say you can adjust the preload, you know. But for me as it is, with all this gear, winter gear was on me, the springs are too soft, and even the adjusting preload not help, because you need to understand you cannot just, you know, adjusting preload by screwing the spring, you know, to the maximum. The spring will not work, you know. We have some type of you know, of a movement of a spring. You can adjust it a little bit, but you cannot just, you know, press it. So the spring will not work and suspension will also not work. It is not working like that. So, and we don't know, you know, for that rider that wheel are built it. But as I feel by the riding, by the softness, and I see when I when I step on that wheel and how the springs are going, you know, all the suspension going down, almost on the half, you know, of overall traveling are going down. I understand what this wheel are built for the riders till 80, maybe till 85 kilos plus minus. But all riders are heavier than that will not feel that, you know, suspension working normally and will not have that travel of suspension. And here the Bigodi as the manufacturer, not Bigodi, sorry, Extreme Bull as a manufacturer need to say honestly, but guys, we have springs for you for the different type of riding and so on, and exactly we need to choose, you know, we need to choose the suspension to work with, you know. So here we don't have that possibility, and this is bad one moment. Hope also will be fixed in the future. And two more moments. Overall, as I said, the suspension of a Commander Pro not bad. Not the level of a suspension of a Shermanes by the principle of working, but better for compared to the V13, of course, to all these suspension wheels like the V11, better than the Master Pro and EX30, of course, because there is no suspension at all. This is even not even, but this one working, you know, working one, not good working, but working, and I feel that in some moments it's working like it is. And now the two more moments I need to explain you why I'm saying that this is working but not exactly. The main difference between the Shermanes suspension and the Commander Pro suspension is, and the difference why I like Shermanes suspension so much is that Shermanes using the system of shocks like using on the motorcycle. So one shock absorber you have with a compression damping, and another shock absorbing you have with a rebound damping. You are regulating, and the two shock absorbers are differing and perform different functions, and both shock absorbers have possibilities to adjust the preload of the spring of the suspension. So compression damping, very important, and rebound. Here, both shocks are the same and performing only the rebound function. So we don't have here compression damping regulation possibility, and that's it. And this makes that wheel really the same by adjustment like the V13, same like the Master Pro and EX30, same like the V11. I think when you just press push the air to up chamber and so on. So having no possibility to adjust compression damping gives you no possibility to adjust suspension to work it normally, and that's it. That's it, guys. If you don't understand what meaning of rebound and compression damping, you can open the Google and find a lot of information from the motorcycle world, how all these suspension are working, and in what moment you need to adjust to get that working perfectly. And the Sherman S, from that small manufacturer, Sherman S understand that, and we made it already from the box with all these adjustments, and I made all these adjustments, and I permanently I understand what I need to do, and I do that, and I feel the suspension start working. And when you're riding, you feel like the suspension working in the all levels, in the all this type of bumps. In you feel when if it is too hard, with a small bumps, you just regulate it like you need it. Too soft, regulate it, and here we have no possibility to regulate compression and no possibility to adjust it normally. This is the first moment why I'm saying what the Sherman suspension are much more better, and this is only one wheel on the market with such a good working suspension, and the second one still, in my opinion, are King Song S22 by the possibilities to adjustment the suspension how it should work. So, and the second one moment is that the Sherman S don't have using this type of a suspension with all these shock absorbers, and the problem is here. I wanted also to say it, but already many riders are killed that suspension of Sherman S, and I really don't understand. I don't have words, to explain that. Because, guys, you need to understand the very important part. You cannot buy the car, you have, for example, you buy the Jeep, the Grand Cherokee, for example. You cannot just jump, you cannot just ride 60 miles or 100 kilometers per hour and jump, in the air 2 meters with that Jeep, place it on the ground and have no issues after that. The car will be destroyed, and the suspension will be destroyed, and the hull will be destroyed. You cannot do that with a motorcycle. You will buy street motorcycle, yes? You buy street, you buy super bike. You cannot just jump in the air, on the few meters, and just push it, and bottoming the suspension so hardly, so many times, so often. You will break all the suspension, you will break suspension of a motorcycle also. And all these special motorcycles like the enduro and hard enduro, and of course the motocross, have a huge travel of suspension to compensate all this traveling, to reduce this kinetic energy when you're jumping and going on the ground, to compensate all. And this is the traveling. These wheels don't have such a travel, and to have that wheel, you need to understand what type of a shock absorber you need to have such a travel, 30 millimeters, 40 millimeters, millimeters, centimeters even, to compensate that. This is not possible for that wheel. So these wheels are not hard enduro motorcycle analog. These wheels are street bike analog. And if you will jump often and bottoming in, because the system inside the Sherman S, for example, are like the watch, inside, so many components, and when you're adjusting all these compression and rebounds, all these chambers, are closing and opening inside because the oil are going, fastly or slowly by clicking all these adjustments. You're working, and you have here the oil rings. You have many stuff there, and if you bouncing and pressing all this stuff, quite often you just broke all inside. And the idea is, I'm returning now, this idea is that for the Sherman S we don't have any type of a support, so all this wheel are holding only on the suspension. So if you're bouncing a lot, jumping a lot, and you're breaking all this suspension, suspension rods and what is inside, and you get the gap, movement in the shock, and you don't have additional support plates here. And idea is that in that walking, the suspension start walking, and you start trim with battery body, start trim with wheel, part of wheel. Like the metal plates are trimming to the battery compartments, and even as I already saw killed 100% kill suspension with the oil already leaked and so on. So you need to understand that you need to use that wheels for the purpose of riding. If you want to use it for the purpose of a hard enduro, you will never reach that result with suspension. You have a lot of problems here, and nobody, dealer or nobody, will help you in that situation when you are using the wheel not regarding the purpose of that wheel. So returning to why am I was saying that? Returning to the Commander Pro, they use here the additional part of suspension with all these small wheels inside, with all these bearings to make it, like we're going only in the one way. So this suspension mechanism, this shock absorbers we're using here, in my opinion, made from not so great material like in the Sherman S, and not so big like in the Sherman S. So we already, Extreme Bull already understand what they have that problem in the future if they will not use the system of like the King Song use it when you're going inside somewhere. The suspension not only working like suspension in the Sherman S, but are also working like a part of a construction of a stability, and this is only one linkage between the wheel and overall body. So here we understand what the shock absorbers we're using in the Commander Pro will not holding all this, and not will be only one linkage to use that. So they made the additional with the metal parts. You can see on the photo. I don't know how we call it in the English, sorry guys, but idea that they have where a lot of bearings and have a lot of rubber wheels here, and this place are opened, and as a result we all know you will have rusty bearings here, and you have a lot of mud, and these wheels are just be damaged very soon, will be trimmed very soon, and you will need to adjust the suspension. So for the Commander Pro, if you will use it in the mud, if you will use it in the water, if you will use it in the sand, you will be trimmed with all this wheel will be trimmed and will be blocked, and the bearings will be out in the next 300-400 kilometers for you. You will need to change them also. So for me, as for the wheel, this solution are not great, because only one way to do that, to fix that problem, is to use the better shock absorbers, like for Sherman S. If these shock absorbers will be not good enough, not hold enough, we will need to use the better shock absorbers, but the overall construction should remain the same like the Sherman S. No additional rubbers, no additional bearings, no additional small wheels are helping to be in the place. No way. You cannot see that solution in the motorcycle world, you cannot see that solution in the cars world. So you just need to build the better product, but not build all around, the supporting products, because these one products are not good. This is not how it works. So here, this moment I don't like in the in the Commander Pro, and I feel this not last long and will be pain for the riders in the future. So yes. So guys, conclusion, returning back conclusion. Overall, as a product, I think that this one you should think, you should think about the product. Ergonomically good, riding experience good, power good, mileage good. Have some moments ergonomically like the handle, screen, side handles, small moments. Power distribution good. With a braking, need to think about that. Not bad suspension, not greatest, but not bad. Really, in my opinion, better than the Master have. And you don't need to repump it, every day. But only one moment with all this, additional supporting system with all these bearings. So you need to think about that, and you need to be prepared. But this moment will be the weak moment for that wheel, and you need to, time will come to you to solve that problems here with this super supporting system. But overall, I think not bad, and this maybe Bigode will. Extreme Bull will made something here, better, and maybe we do something here, some upgrades I mean, and we will see near the future the upgraded one, Extreme Bull Commander Pro product, and maybe, yes, why not? This is one of my not favorite wheels, but I cannot honestly say that this is one wheel we are not working completely from the box, and just I don't think and don't see the future for that. No, not bad. As I said, I like this, but the reasons I am saying about the suspension, I still believe the Sherman S are best suspension wheel here. So guys, the next review will be about the EX30, and after that the final comparison 3 of them, and compare to the V13 maybe. Okay, let's see another one part EX30.